Hi guys, and welcome back to Canada Top to Bottom. Now, if you're a subscriber to our channel, you'll know all about the recent resumption of all program express entry draws for those seeking permanent residence in Canada. We've been producing an analysis video every time there's a draw, and we've also got a video outlining what changes are coming to the express entry system. You can find that video by clicking the link above. If you're not a subscriber, why not? Hit subscribe right now.
For those of you who've only just subscribed, the big news is that all program express entry draws resumed on July the 6th, 2022 after a long break due to COVID. Express entry is the most popular way of moving to Canada, and again, we've got a video explaining it, which you can see by clicking the link above. That video explains the basic express entry system and will help you understand some of the terms and theories we'll be discussing today.
After such a long break from doing draws, the number of people in the express entry pool has really grown, and there are now, wait for it, almost 250,000 people in there. Now, many of those candidates will have quite low CRS scores, but there are still thousands of candidates with CRS scores in excess of 500, even after the recent draws, and more candidates are joining the pool every day. As a result, scores which would, pre-COVID, have got you one of those coveted ITAs, an invitation to apply for permanent residence, are now miles away from the CRS cutoff score. Even the 5th all-program express entry draw of the year on August the 31st, 2022 had a cutoff score of 516, which is more than 100 CRS points higher than the record low cutoff score of 413. Just to put it in context, draws in 2019 and early 2020 had cutoff scores of around 450 to 475-ish, so the current draws really are much higher than anything we saw pre-COVID.
So if your CRS score is not above or even close to 500 and you're wondering how to increase it, we're here to help. When we got drawn from the express entry pool in July 2020, our CRS score was 482. So if we hadn't got lucky and got drawn then, we could still be in the pool too. We know exactly how it feels to be sitting there waiting for the cutoff score to come down. And we also know how it feels to realise that your score isn't high enough. It became clear when we first entered the pool that we weren't going to get drawn, so we worked hard to improve our score and get it up over 480. Today we'll give you 3 proven ways of doing something similar. Firstly, improving your education score. Secondly, gaining work experience. And thirdly, upping your language score.
With regards to education, the minimum level required to apply through express entry is a high school graduation certificate, and as a single applicant this will give you 30 CRS points. This then progresses up through a 1-year degree, 2-year degree and a 3-year degree, which provides you with increasingly more points, up to 120 points for a 3-year degree as a single applicant. This increases further to multiple certificates or degrees, a master's degree, and up to the maximum of 150 points for holding a PhD.
So as you can see, the difference between a high school education and a PhD is a huge 120 points. Understandably, it's not necessarily feasible for someone to quickly add a PhD to their skill set, but if further studying is something you are interested in, an extra diploma or a master's program may add some valuable extra points.
The next area where you could find some extra points is your work experience. This is divided into foreign work experience and Canadian working experience, meaning work that was completed either in Canada or in another country.
You don't get any points for foreign work experience alone, but when combined with a high language proficiency, up to 3 years or more of foreign work experience can give you an extra 50 points. Having more than 3 years is of no extra benefit, but if you have less than this, consider adding an extra 1 or 2 years of working in order to up your points.
Depending on your personal situation, having at least 12 months of work experience in Canada is hugely beneficial. Just 1 year working in Canada is worth 40 points as a single applicant, up to a maximum of 80 points for 5 years or more. Plus, another 50 points are up for grabs when you combine your foreign and your Canadian work experience.
So with this in mind, looking for a job in Canada and applying for a Canadian work permit could be a great option. especially as the options for applying for permanent residency increase once you are in Canada with some Canadian work experience. We've got a video about using the Job Bank of Canada to help with your search, and the link to that video is above.
Now to by far the best and easiest way to increase your CRS score, and that is by improving your language score. And this is something which is very much in your hands.
To apply for permanent residence through the Express Entry system, you have to take a language test in either English or French, as these are Canada's two official languages. And you need to demonstrate that you are able to communicate effectively in one of them.
Now, contrary to popular belief, you do have to pay for and take an official language test, even if English or French is your mother tongue. Believe me, we both had to take IELTS tests, despite the fact that we are native English speakers.
The options for English tests are the CELPIP or the IELTS. The CELPIP is only available in a handful of countries, whereas the IELTS is widely available across the world, hence making it the more popular choice for most candidates. There are also two options for French tests, which are the TEF and the TCF. These tests are relatively similar, so it's just a case of finding out which one is available in your area. There is a link above to our playlist explaining all of the Canadian immigration language tests.
With English being more widely spoken across the world as both a first and as a second language, English language tests are taken more commonly than French for immigration purposes. So, if you already have a reasonable level of English, the likelihood is that you will be choosing to take an English test as your preferred language, and improving your English language test results are a great way of increasing your CRS score.
The language levels are assessed using CLB levels, or Canadian Language Benchmark levels, ranging from the minimum points for a CLB 4, which is a very basic level, to the highest possible points for CLB 10, which is fluency in the language.
To give you some more numbers, your first official language, whether that's English or French, can provide you with anything from 6 to 34 points, depending on your proficiency level. And as we mentioned earlier, language test results not only provide you with the points on their own, but they can also be combined with other skills to give you more additional points.
For example, a high level of education combined with a good first official language proficiency can give you from 25 to 50 extra points. And this is the same for work experience, which could net you up to 50 extra points when combined with a good first official language proficiency.
It's important to understand that for your first official language, the magic level to reach is CLB 9, which is classed as upper intermediate. Now, this may not seem achievable to you, but although you will get points for language proficiency below this, results which are CLB 9 and above will absolutely catapult you into the huge extra points by being able to combine them with other skills.
So as you can see, improving your first official language to an advanced level, whether in English or French, can reap huge rewards. Well over 100 points are up for grabs by getting your great scores in your language test.
However, this is where many people are either ill-informed or simply unaware that having a second official language can give you a lot more points. A lot of YouTube channels will tell you that you need to take an IELTS test, but very few mention that there are in fact 2 English tests you can choose from, and almost nobody tells you that taking a French test can give you an enormous amount of extra points. In fact, most YouTube channels don't mention French at all.
And this is the real secret to improving your CRS points. French language skills in particular can provide you with a huge number of extra CRS points. Canada is very keen to preserve the French language and is therefore very generous to applicants who have a reasonable level of French, and especially to those who can speak some English and some French.
So we'll give you an idea of the points you could gain by learning some French. To begin with, a high level of French can start by giving you anything up to 24 extra points, but because Canada is so keen to attract French speakers, a high level of French combined with an average level of English will give you an additional 25 bonus points, and a high level of French combined with a good level of English will give you a whopping 50 extra points.
Those points could see you sailing past tens of thousands of applicants in the pool and land you that invitation to apply for permanent residence. And to give you an idea of what these levels mean, to gain these extra points, your French level needs to be at CLB level 7, which is classed as upper intermediate. So you do not need to be a fluent French speaker or leading political conferences in French. You just need to be at a level where you can confidently communicate and understand everyday life.
This is very much achievable with some hard work and perseverance. A lot of people did some French at high school, and with the internet, there are a huge number of ways to learn French, even for complete beginners. There are a lot of study books available. You could find an in-person class near you or a private tutor, or even easier is a private online tutor where you can learn and study from the comfort of your own home. It will, of course, require a lot of time, effort and patience, but this is the one factor which is completely in your hands and which can provide you with an enormous number of extra CRS points.
And I have very personal experience of this. I took the TCF French test once and then the TEF French twice. The first time I took the TCF, I wasn't aware of the specific levels I needed to reach in order to get these extra points. I assumed that whatever score I got would give me a few extra points and it would be a bonus. But I was wrong, and I really wish that I had been able to watch this video beforehand to avoid a lot of time and money. Getting a few extra points is great if that's all you need, but to get those big extra points you need the magic CLB level 7 in French. I had a huge amount of lessons and did hundreds of hours of personal study and revision and was able to reach CLB 7 and 8 in all aspects of the French test, meaning that our points total shot up and we were selected in the very next draw, all thanks to French.
So there we have it. If you're short of the current cutoff scores, then all is not lost. We didn't have enough points, we figured out a way to get where we needed to be, and we now live in the best country in the world. We want to help other people move here too, so please help us do that by hitting like and subscribe and spreading the word. In return, we'll bring you a high quality Canada-related video every single Wednesday and Sunday. Thanks for watching, good luck in future draws, and we'll see you next time.